Did you know that long before Columbus arrived, the Americas were home to thriving civilizations with cities, complex societies, and trade networks spanned thousands of miles? While many of us are taught about the discovery of the New World, the reality is that the Americas' rich history and cultures were shaped by the people who lived there for thousands of years. So, what was life like in the Americas before European contact? Let's uncover the fascinating story behind the people and places that shaped this land. When we think about America's history, it's easy to start with Columbus and his voyages. But the truth is, the story of the Americas began tens of thousands of years earlier. People were already living here, adapting to the land, creating vibrant cultures, and building remarkable societies. They weren't just surviving, they were thriving. This video will discuss who these people were, their arrival, and what made their civilizations unique. We'll explore the vast trade routes, advanced technologies, and challenges they faced in a world completely different from today. By the end, you might see the Americas before Columbus in a whole new way. How did people first arrive in the Americas? The story begins over 20,000 years ago during the Ice Age. Sea levels were much lower back then, and a land bridge connected Asia and North America. This bridge, known as Beringia, allowed the first humans to migrate into the Americas. These early people were hunter-gatherers, following herds of animals like mammoths and caribou across vast frozen landscapes. Over time, they spread southward, adapting to the environment. Archaeological sites in places like Clovis, New Mexico, show humans were in the Americas at least 13,000 years ago. Some researchers even believe people arrived much earlier, but the evidence remains uncovered. Thriving civilizations and advanced societies. When Columbus set sail, the Americas were far from undiscovered. Millions of people lived here, and they had built incredible civilizations. In Mesoamerica, the Mayans and Aztecs constructed cities with towering pyramids, intricate calendars, and advanced agricultural systems. At its peak, the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan, was one of the largest cities in the world, with a population rivaling that of cities in Europe. Farther south, the Inca Empire spanned the Andes Mountains. They built roads and bridges that stretched across rugged terrain, connecting their empire from modern-day Colombia to Chile. Their engineering skills were so advanced that many structures like Machu Picchu still stand today. In North America, complex societies existed, such as the Mississippians, who built massive earthen mounds at sites like Cahokia near modern-day Saint Louis. Cahokia was a bustling city, home to tens of thousands of people and a center of trade and culture. Trade networks and connections. These civilizations didn't exist in isolation. Long before European ships crossed the Atlantic, vast trade networks connected different parts of the Americas. Indigenous groups traded shells, copper, and obsidian over hundreds of miles in North America. In South America, people transported goods across the Andes, using llamas as pack animals. These trade routes helped spread goods, ideas, technology, and culture. For example, maize, or corn, was first domesticated in what is now Mexico. Over centuries, it spread across the Americas, becoming a staple crop for many civilizations. How they lived and adapted to the land. Life in the Americas wasn't just about survival and thriving in various environments. People in the Great Plains hunted bison and used every part of the animal for food, clothing, and tools. In the Pacific Northwest, communities relied on abundant salmon runs and built wooden longhouses to protect against the elements. In the deserts of the Southwest, the ancestral Puebloans built cliff dwellings and irrigation systems to grow crops like beans and squash in harsh conditions. These examples show how people adapted to the land, turning challenges into opportunities. What happened before Columbus arrived? The Americas weren't a static world frozen in time. These civilizations were constantly evolving, trading, and sometimes clashing. But when Europeans arrived, everything changed. Diseases like smallpox spread rapidly, devastating populations that had no immunity. Estimates suggest that 90% of the indigenous population may have died from disease alone. But before this tragic chapter, the Americas were home to some of history's most innovative and resourceful people. They created art, developed technologies, and built communities that still inspire us today. The story of America didn't start with Columbus. It began thousands of years earlier with people who shaped the land and built incredible societies. From the towering pyramids of the Aztecs to the bustling trade routes of the Mississippians, the Americas were a vibrant, thriving world long before European contact. As we learn more about these civilizations, we start to understand how much they accomplished and how their legacy continues to influence the world today. What other stories of the Americas have been overlooked or forgotten? In the following video, we'll examine the first interactions between Europeans and indigenous peoples and how those encounters changed history forever.